Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's see some more information about RDS. Now, let's have a question. Is this RDS is a regional or global service? Is a regional service or global service? So now the question is RDS is a regional or global service. Before this, let's see about RDS instance. If we create RDS instance, if we want to create RDS instance, while creating, we have a configuration option that is about how many availability zones you want to store in your RDS instance. So how many availability zones you want? How many availability zones you want? Like this, a question is there. That means a option is there like this. So there two options are available. That is single availability zone. Second one is multiple multi availability zone. Multi availability is nothing but multiple availability zones. Let's say you choose this single availability zone. Now, let's say if the particular availability zone, I have a availability zone and I hosted my RDS instance in that availability. Then, then let's say if my particular RDS instance is hosted in a single availability zone. I hosted my RDS instance in single availability zone. Now, let's say due to any issues, this particular RDS instance fails. This RDS instance fails due to any particular issues. Can I say, do I face failover issue? Yes. I have no availability and I face failover issue. How to overcome this single availability zone RDS instance failover? You have an option. What is that? Multi-AZ. Multi-AZ. If you select this option, so while creating, if you select this multi-AZ option, then in single region, your RDS instance is deployed at multiple availability zone. In a single region, your RDS instance is deployed at multiple availability zones. So if I choose my multi-AG, then AWS will host my database in multiple availability zones. So if any availability zone in a single region, it will host multiple availability zones, my database instance. Let's take region as an example of Mumbai. Now, so if any availability zone, if any availability zone fails also, my DNS, my DNS route traffic to other RDS instance, which is present in other availability zone. So can I say RDS instances are availability zone level? Of course, RDS instances are availability zone level. And what about this RDS service? It provides us regional level service. RDS provides us regional level service. So can I conclude? Can I say like this? RDS is a regional service? Yes. Now, let's say my whole region, my whole Mumbai region fails. Then, do I have availability of my RDS database instance? No, right? Since my databases are hosted where, present where, they're present under availability zones of my Mumbai region. Now, since my Mumbai region fails, all my availability zones and all the instances which are present in that availability zones got failed and my instances are no longer available. My database instances are no longer available. Then now, how can I provide high availability? So, how can I provide is the high availability is the question. by deploying my RDS instances across different regions. You can see here I deployed in Mumbai region and I deployed in Hyderabad region as well. So if any one of the region got failed also, then can I say my second region is available? Yes. Then can I able to access my RDS database instance even one region failed? Yes, we can able to access. Then how can we provide this? How can we provide this in RDS? How can we deploy our RDS instances across different regions by RDS service? You have an option called cross-region read replicas. What is that? Cross-region read replica. This cross-region read replica will support you to replicate your instances, that is to replicate your RDS database instance from one region to another region, that is across regions you can able to replicate by using cross region read replicas. So one more limitation is there here. That limitation is Aurora. Aurora is there, right? Yes. So it does not support this cross region read replica mechanism. Then is there any dedicated mechanism for it to provide high availability? Yes, there is a dedicated mechanism for that to provide high availability. For particularly Aurora, there is a dedicated mechanism present since we store our database under clusters. There is a separate mechanism there for Aurora. Previously, we discussed to overcome the failover. To overcome the failover, what we do? We must need to place our RDS DB instances in different availability zones, right? Yes. So how can we able to replicate our RDS database instance from one availability zone to another availability zone? So we can able to replicate by using synchronous replication. By using synchronous replication, we can able to replicate our data from one availability zone to other availability zone. That is, we can say multiple availability zone. So what do we call this? Firstly created RDS database instance. We call this as primary instance. Since from here we are replicating our data to here, we call this source as primary instance. Whereas coming to destination where we are replicating our DB instance, that we call it as secondary instance. We call the destination as secondary instance. So by using how we are replicating, synchronously we are replicating. Actually, from where these database instances got request from DNS, right? Yes, from DNS. Actually, these instances got request for DNS. From where the request comes from the client's browser, the request comes to hit DNS. From the DNS will send the request to the primary instance. Whenever a failover occur in primary instance, then what happens is the RDS service, whatever the RDS service is there, right? That RDS service updates DNS point. So previously it will point to where primary instance. This RDS updates that point to secondary instance within 60 to 120 seconds. Whenever a failover occurred or else happens at primary instance of your database, then your RDS will point your DNS to secondary instance within 60 to 120 seconds. Within few seconds only, it will point. For this, you don't need to configure anything. AWS will take care of it. AWS will configure and do everything for you to map your DNS pointed to secondary. Let's see when do this failover happen. So when do this failover happen, sir? If let's say my primary database instance hosted availability zone, whatever the hosted availability zone got failed, then my RDS database instance fails? Yes, of course. So availability zone fail, then this happens. This is one case. Let's see another. At the time of failover, of your whole host machine, whenever your host machine fails, then the database instance which is created on top of your host machine will fail. Yes. So whenever host machine fails, whenever host machine of your primary instance, host machine of your primary instance fails, in that scenario also your, since the host machine failed, on top of it only, right, your instance is running. Since we are not having the host machine, then the top hosted instance also not there. That also goes to failure. During your primary instance reboot also, during primary instance reboot, also, your RDS instance will fail to respond to your clients. When primary database instance class changes, that is, we have multiple classes, right? If I am changing my class from standard to memory optimized, so if I changed storage class, so in that case, that is, let's say I changed standard storage class to memory optimized storage class, then in this scenario also failure happens to my primary instance. This scaling in RDS, we do scaling for storage services as well as compute services. For storage services, it is very simple. We just need to enable, while creating, we just need to enable storage auto scaling. Storage auto scaling. So that's it. Your storage will be automatically scaled. So coming to compute scaling. Compute scaling. So how this will be done? This compute scaling will done in two ways. First one is vertical scaling and second one is horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. So these are the two types of scalings we have under compute scaling. So let's see about them. When do I use this? When do I prefer this? Vertical scaling, sir. You can prefer this vertical scaling for more performance. For more performance, you choose this vertical scaling. So How can we able to provide this more performance, sir? By using this vertical scaling. By using this vertical scaling, you can able to provide more performance. How is? So here, what you do is, you initially taken your instance type as M4 medium. You initially taken your instance type as M4 medium. Now, what you are expecting? You need to scale. You need to scale your compute. How can you scale? If you scale your compute instance type, if you scale your instance type, then does it scales your productivity? Does it scales your performance? Yes, it will scales your performance. So how can I scale? Just by modifying my instance type to larger type. We have medium till now. So let's say I have much more load who are accessing my database. So in order to provide response to all the users, I need to scale my instance type, right? Yes. So I want to scale to extra large. Even we can scale to large as well as 2x large, double XL large scale also we can able to scale. But now, so in this way, scaling is nothing but improve your performance. This comes under vertical scaling. So how can we able to do this? How can we able to do this under AWS? Simply, you can do this by changing immediately by your own, or else the another way is you can do this in another way. That another way is you can schedule the window. You can able to schedule window. So these are the two ways where you can able to scale vertically for improving your performance. So this is what how you are scaling and what you are scaling vertically to improve your performance. Now let's see under compute scaling, what is this horizontal scaling, sir? What is this horizontal scaling? So here you are scaling for more quantity of current instances. You are scaling for more quantity. Quantity is nothing but count only. More quantity of current instances. Okay. So how can we scale this? So how the process will be? Let's see about it. So we can scale this. We can scale this by using read replicas. By using read replicas, we can able to do this horizontal scaling. So, sir, can you provide us some example? Yes. Let's say I have one M4 large. I have one M4 large instance. I have one M4 large RDS DB instance. Now I want to scale vertically, which means let's say my traffic is more, I'm getting more traffic. So in order to provide response, I need to scale it horizontally. So here you just increase, you just increase the total number of instances, that is RDS instances in that place. You are not removing the current instance, you are just creating few more here. That means by using read replicas, you are creating few more instance types, few more instances. In this way, you can able to provide response by using other instances to your clients, right? Yes. So by using multiple M4 large instances, can I able to respond to more clients? Of course. So in this way, you can able to scale your compute resources in horizontal scaling. So how do we do this vertical scaling, sir? By changing instance type. That's it. By simply changing instance type. By changing the instance type, you can able to do this vertical scaling. So if you change, then what happens? Your performance will be increased. Then you can able to respond to more number of clients at a time. For doing this vertical scaling, you just change it immediately. You can change instance type immediately, or else you can schedule a window. For this horizontal scaling, how can you do this? By using read replicas, right? Yes. So how is it will be? How can we do this? So to do this, first what you do is from primary instance, you just take a snapshot from primary instance. So let me write here from primary instance. You first take the snapshot. From this primary instance, you first take a snapshot. From that snapshot, you can create this secondary instance by using read replicas. Without disturbing primary instance, you can able to create this secondary instance in horizontal scaling by using read replicas and snapshot. You first take the snapshot and just create your secondary instance by using read replicas without disturbing primary instance. So does it save my performance? And does it save my response? Yes. So in this way, we can able to scale horizontally. Here at final, I have primary instance, secondary instance, like this many instances. If I want, then I can able. So let's see the responsibilities. What are the responsibilities that customer need to take care, and what are the AWS responsibilities that AWS need to take care while we are using this RDS. So our responsibility is whatever the data we have, that is our responsibility, and our data encryption and integrity authentication also our responsibility. So how can we provide access to our data is also our responsibility. That is by using customer IAM, like that it is our responsibility. And networking, that is encryption, integrity and identity towards my data will be taken care by me. That is by using customer IAM. And my responsibility is again firewall configuration. So in order to protect my data, we also need to configure a firewall. So these are, as a client or customer, our responsibility while using the EFS. So what about AWS responsibility, sir? AWS will take care of the underlying global infrastructure, that is from regions, from availability zones and edge locations will be take care by AWS. So in order to use this database instances by us, AWS need to provide some compute services in background, some storage services, database services, networking services, right? Those all will be taken care by AWS only. So AWS also will take care of AWS endpoints, and in order to provide these, AWS need to take care of AWS IAM, and on top of these, it also need to provide us some operating system and network configurations in order to use them as what? Database instances. And how they provide us by using a platform or an application management format. Then only it will be easy for us, right? So these all things will be taken care by whom? AWS. What is our responsibility? Our responsibility is our data and our data protection and securing by using encryption or integrity or identity, and our IAM. Those things will be taken care by us. So this is the shared responsibility between AWS and customer. So whenever using your RDS service. So you can see this is all about your RDS. Till now we completed mostly all things regarding your RDS in cloud. So I hope this video is understanding to you and you understood scalings to your RDS and you understood whether RDS is a regional or global and who will take care of providing your secondary instances whenever your primary instance is failed to DNS. And so when do your primary instance failover happens, those reasons also you understood, I think. And how can you able to replicate your instances from primary instance to secondary instance, between availability zones you understood, and between regions also how to replicate your data. I hope you understood. So this is all about RDS database service. I hope you understood all the things which we have learned till now. So thanks for watching. If you feel our video is contentful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye, guys.